Maybe I can get painting supplies elsewhere.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? This reality?
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
I'm conducting a personal investigation into the world I find myself in.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
Are they now?
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then. Go ahead. Ask.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year. It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean. Yes, we're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities. Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her, and to humanity at large.
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
Kind of city.
Great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
What makes it great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
When was
in
it
the
built?
DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why will it resolve
They say
history?
it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men. We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we are an unimportant part of an important place.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about...
A sparkle of lights on the horizon, like morning stars above the curvature of the planet.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Serve the large body of water.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Is it?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I
Obviously.
suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Monsieur will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long term.
Okay, we'll
It's
continue
better
this
not
later.
to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service. These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late. For the big time. The revolution.
Okay.
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Interesting way to look at the world, I suppose.
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
It does sound like a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it. Yes, an acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. Yes, King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Went down?
He pulled a brave
Anyway,
Sorrobin. I
Gil
think it's
got
the
out
expression.
alive and his nephew Frisell got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was they are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Should we try this? 42%. I mean, I just rolled so well on them. I mean, it's quite... It's not in our favor.
6 kilometers
And yet we
southwest
managed.
of the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
You? You're an officer of the RCM. Preciso mundo. Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
He's being sarcastic.
He's being sarcastic.
We are.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin. The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All three are good to know when we are out policing.
Basically one of the good guys. Obviously.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Hey, come on, everyone is a fan of me.
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the International Zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed, a true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Sure.
Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
We are the law. Thank you, man.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
It's all
Glad
for
to
now.
have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
We've talked to
You
Emmett
have?
Clare.
And how did you like Mr. Clare?
The beautiful man, beautiful and just. Bloated rainbow socialist. It's not the champion I've chosen. I wish to swear fealty to you, Deco. Feeling the international community does not approve of him. I mean, there isn't really a good answer here. I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Of course, Detective. Excuse me for implying otherwise.
The RCM does not pick sides in this. I hope it doesn't come off any other way.
Yeah, we do side quests for both of
Of
you.
course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt verm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
Why is my necktie in this conversation? Hope you turn up the heat on the board. Wait, didn't we like stop the booze in the borscht?
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with? Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Where exactly are these eyes
Doesn't
located?
really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout, most likely. That would give them a read on the entire quarter.
I mean, there should be more mercenaries, right? Like, one was hanged. I wonder where the others are. Like, interviewing them would also be, like, probably sensible. Like, they aren't hiring just one mercenary.
In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
The lieutenant is about to interject. Cut him off. This decision should be yours.
No, let the lieutenant handle
If
it.
there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I
Okay.
wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Why strawberries?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
I see.
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Is that maybe what the union... Maybe the union wants a bloodbath? Like, I mean, obviously those are not reasonable demands of the union, right? Like, they know that this is never going to work. So if it's not a negotiating tactic, maybe they want to provoke a conflict?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the union into surrendering.
Didn't work so
Who
well.
are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating.
They only sent 3, or maybe she only knows of. I mean, one of them is presumably dead now.
They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
Yeah, that does sound like a bloodbath.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
It's not disco. The investigations can team up. Are they going to be that reasonable about it, though?
Surely you're joking. These people are killers. My only hope is that yours provides a single, concrete suspect before they indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
They would have to project strength and power.
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
Interesting bee trivia.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
Yeah, I don't have one either.
As I said, a bloodbath.
It's a pretty bleak scenario.
Bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Okay, where are the remaining 2 mercs
They've
now?
gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Trouble in your eyes? I mean, I guess there might just be...
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
Yeah, where
That's
is that clear
wise.
from them?
Our goal is to avert catastrophe. Besides, you're likely to encounter them sooner or later.
Probably. How much time do
Until
we
the
have?
executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Sounds like a problem.
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him. Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre most likely.
It's a classic, but wait, there's more.
Wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did.
True.
A bad sign if there ever was one. He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
Indeed, this matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own.
You know what? I mean, this conversation, like there is time going on, and there was the message person on. So this seems like an important thought. The game says. So we're gonna unlock a slot here, and then we're gonna internalize that thought, and then we're gonna continue with the conversation, right? Because now as time moves on, we will move on with that thought.
In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once. Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
What did
That
they
the
say?
man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, At the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
Yeah, who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
Is that so?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eendracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Got it.
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
I think we have someone on it
Do you
already.
know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP now?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Crenel. I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
Yeah, I mean,
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
it's fine. It's not like, I've lost my gun and we are facing a potentially very well armed military unit that wants to start a bloodbath. This is, okay, that's enough for
I am
now.
sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Yeah, can you tell me about these
Of course.
tattoos?
Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
Okay.
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Seminese Islands, then this. Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
I'm not sure if that's helpful, but it's
The
interesting.
old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
In Martinez, looking into Crenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter. Vredefort? Vredefort has a military academy. The Seminoles Islands saw a recent conflict. In Revachol, he was executed.
Ah, at least my encyclopedia is paying off.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
This one's going nowhere but the morgue, yeah. Spoken to him, for now the soul is fastened inside the corpse.
The times have changed. His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
You wouldn't even know where to start.
Is there anything else I can help you with? What
I mean, we can
do,
still ask.
I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There
I
was
see.
a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do
The
they do?
Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Okay.
She nods. Wow, so someone's been a little boring.
What?
Yes, my standard liege. Someone's seen all sorts of wild ideas pop off and thought, I'll take the boring one. The regular, please. The brown.
Picking on me for not being crazy enough, that's the least of my concerns.
No need to be defensive. The regularity, the brownness, the cut and dry have their appeal. A very standard appeal.
Just trying to my shop, no need for extra
Of
minutes.
course you do. Let's get right to it. My lord's coppo type is regular cop. I'll let everyone know. I'll send out a telefax.
So you're my combo
Yes,
type now?
the type of cop you are, sire. Think of it as a caste, a class even, a nation of regular law officials that you belong to. It comes, of course, with the usual benefits.
Okay.
Done and done. No actual communiques will be sent, of course. That would be too dramatic.
So regular law official. Like a bit of the normal in you, a touch of the regular. 4 grams of Johnny Normal Cop. Who would have thunk it? You, the extremist of all the cops. You said some pretty boring things back there, and now you have 2 choices. You can either leave it behind and forget about it, or you can try to utilize your normalcy, internalize it. Get a touch of vanilla back into your herring-flavored egg. That licorice ice cream of your mind. I mean, I don't have a slot currently anyway, so we'll see. We'll keep this in mind. And we'll have to see what we'll do here. I've never been in
A
here.
sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response.
Okay. still have no painting supplies to paint this wall. There are the... I haven't... What happens if I go in here?
There must be another way into the building.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
No, no trouble
I
from
don't want to
me.
be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Yeah,
Is it really that important?
I mean, it's a murder
Like a
investigation.
nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
A cat, you say?
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinet's standards.
Okay, it's not helpful because we know
What
about...
were you doing last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
It is sure I didn't.
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week? I don't know. Look,
It'll take more than rain to bring this place back to life.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
Kind of
It
friend.
was my Sunday friend.
Makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pals, watching rugby and drinking beer.
Fair enough.
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the grey sky, the neighboring windows are streaked with rain.
Help you? No, sorry, gendarme. I have to run. My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Sure it is.
That's definitely not his real name.
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice?
Ask him again.
And I really need to finish this cigarette. And I really need to finish this cigarette.
Okay.
Help you? No, sorry, gendarme. I have to run. No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtains? For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes, compassion, and a hint of understanding.
Wait. Compassion and a hint of understanding and feline eyes do not go together. I mean, look at this. Does this look like... Does this look like compassion to you? Feline eyes are usually contemplating murder.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
But, hold on, what's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to The front door.
Nice.
It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
So maybe that's the key, and then we can get inside. I'm not actually sure why we are trying to get inside, but we are probably trying to get inside.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself. He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case.
Could be
He
one
did
of
leave
the
us a sign. Did you see
mercenaries.
that? He wanted to draw our attention to that stone right over there.
I did notice
If we
that.
find a way inside the building, we can ask around for his apartment.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it. There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building has many apartments and the man can be in any of them. We'll just have to go in and see.
Let's do just that. Eviction notice and oh, missing pants.
A shabby door hangs oddly on its hinges, secured to the doorframe with a safety chain. An unpaid energy bill is attached, threatening to cut off the electricity. It's addressed to Mr. Uno Doroita.
And the place comes with 3 months' worth of utility bills.
Tool not in hand is a reasonable excuse, so maybe we will take the tool into our hand and
A
try
shabby
again.
door hangs oddly on its hinges,
72%.
secured to the doorframe
I
with a
mean,
safety chain. It should be easy, but it's just an awkward angle, okay? The door doesn't really open wide enough to really get the cutters through. You can't get the leverage you need, and the cutters are blunt. And the chain is just super strong, okay? It's not your fault you can't cut it.
oh my god, it's
Fabric rustles. The lieutenant's chin catches against his collar. He is looking on, shaking his head in disappointment.
Trouble with the chain, officer?
I'm not that good with
Well,
my
no,
hands.
I guess not.
You can't stand for that. Come on, show him what you can really do.
83, 83.
So
Yes,
much for that
there
goddamn
you
chain.
go.
The links fall to the ground on the other side of the door. You have bested the titanium menace.
I know there's no stopping you, but let's at least make this quick.
A phone book lies open on the table, covering a stack of utility bills. Right next to it, in plain sight, sits a small bottle of amphetamine, conveniently equipped with a straw.
Good. Confiscate it.
The minuscule amount of amphetamine doesn't interest the lieutenant in the slightest. He listens instead to something in the other room.
I mean, I hear snoring. Pet the cat, Emperor. Let's do that. He who is slowly swallowed by the beanbag.
You pocket the bottle as if it were the most natural thing in the world.
So I stole the clothes.
A bundle of clothes heaped on the bed, a stained parka, some towels and a duvet, some socks even. In the dark, it looks like a nest. Something underneath there is breathing. It's not too late. No one's going to blame you for backing out. You don't have to do this. Just get out. Your hand touches a greasy duvet covered in cigarette burns and ketchup stains. You hear a growl. There is something alive underneath it.
Am I going to die?
You see a 60-year-old, fat, red-headed man passed out from large amounts of alcohol and God knows what else. The smell of shit rises from his mouth. You don't have to take him down. He's already down.
What is there to do? We could turn him on his side so he doesn't choke on his own vomit, but he's already on his side. We could take him to Remedy or Saint-Baptiste, but he doesn't have money for medical services. The arms source would turn him down. They don't do charity for people who are trying to kill themselves. Besides, he'll be dead in a few.
Years, months, weeks. The pile of blankets grunts miserably. The man groans once again, but his tongue keeps failing him. It's impossible to make out the syllables. A hand emerges from the blankets, trying to gesticulate something. And then it dawns upon you, clear and surreal. Pigs, he says. He's trying to call you pigs. His hand falls back on the bed, limp and defeated. A loud snore escapes his mouth. He's asleep again.
Well, I got 5
At
XP out
least
of
he
it.
got to say his piece.
Well, I took your drugs and your pants. I have no... Like, mine gives me... You know what? We are wearing black jeans now. Look, I look almost reasonable. Except for, like, maybe the plastic bag. And the fact that I carry a crowbar. Oh. Money! I need it. Dolce authority. Flip up glasses. Mine give me visual calculus minus drama. Yes, my glasses are better. So,
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number 11. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it.
I'm afraid this name's now.
The lieutenant is concentrated on the hallway, scanning both ways for any approaches.
I'm not good with chain cutters. Should we just...
No reply. What are you doing? You're trying to cut the body of the lock with the chain cutters, and it's really not working.
I believe it's the shackle you mean to cut, Detective.
I do think that's what I'm trying
Perhaps
to
you
do.
should give it another go.
Okay.
What are you doing? You're trying to cut the body of the lock.
I believe it's the shackle you mean to cut, Detective. Perhaps you should give it another go.
Yeah, maybe I should. Doom. Let's. You know what? Now that I know it's interfacing, clearly, you know, I just wanted to.
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers, the iconography of communism, in other words. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure. Because white is the color of peace, to symbolize the toppling of the old order.
Okay.
Also, some social democrats were already using it. You see noble aims, but also mountains upon mountains of corpses. They should have taken a more measured approach. Also, you're really smart.
Obviously, I'm
The
really
price
smart.
of idealism, unrestrained by humanism. Never again.
Okay.
This door has been closed with a padlock. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. The lieutenant is concentrated on the hallway, scanning both ways for any approaches. What are you doing? You're trying to cut the
I believe it's the shackle you mean to cut, Detective. Perhaps you should give it another go.
No, come on. 72%. Now with my.
The shackle
There you
snaps
go.
like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. It should be possible to enter now.
After you, Detective.
Master Investigator, you just can't keep yourself away from locked and hidden places, can you?
Wat mezelf piepen. It's my duty as captain to get a screenshot of this world.
Attaboy, the world's secrets were made for you. They wait patiently for you to uncover them.
I found a bullet. Check.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Marzov.
Oh, I had a conversation about. Like this was some sort of famous person. Well, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't have a bust. Also, I need a drink, so I'll be right back. And I'm back, and I've grabbed some schnapps. Cheers.
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting. He was definitely controversial. The tenant here seems to like him. There aren't many communists around, not after the revolution. Some youth still keep the ideology going, it seems.
I mean, I got one bullet, so you know. Oh, that's no. You want the patrol clock? It's a jacket, not a. Let's see. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Postcard. Sure.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. Sounded like a woman's shoes. A poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
She may have a point there.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
It's generally easier to do things if you have literally any reason.
I mean, I suppose.
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis. I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me. Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the residence.
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Exactly.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for? Talk?
What was so funny about that?
Yeah, I want to know that too.
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
What do we have here?
A shift in temperature. The air chills around you. Dust settles on the stony floor. A former architect stands before a slice of window, a room plan in her hand. A cold wave has made the air in the building stand still and frozen, with temperatures falling down to -20 degrees Celsius. Is red from the cold. She's breathing on her fingers, clasping the plan. Traces of sadness are visible in her expression.
Is this like a memory?
Faint
I suppose
pencil
it is,
lines
right?
on paper depict the same place, but a missing eastern wall connects the room with the neighboring apartment. Ideas for arranging the furniture have been jotted down. It's clean and empty, with new tapestry embellishing the walls. A standard HB graphite pencil has fallen off a three-legged stool in the middle of the room. She had an eye for beauty.
No, it's clear you like to look inside containers. You like to open doors and see what's behind them. Maybe secrets, maybe more juicy containers. Let's be honest, you like all containers. That. I'm not sure if there is a fault that I want to go for. Not that I'd have a slot right now anyway. Book 16 days of coldest April.
Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. It towered over the harbor until it happened.
What's it?
A great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coastline. Fired from the water. A straight shot into Revachol. The tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling until it was destroyed, and they had a direct firing line. Those arches acted as support for something greater than what you see now. Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. Restoration has failed. What the shelling took out was never rebuilt. Underwater, iron helmets have sunk deep into the sand and the mud. Helmets of soldiers, and their finger bones too, and clavicles, littering the ocean floor. The waves of the Martinez Inlet roll over the fallen remains of the
Good evening,
building.
Escher.
The
Good evening,
dark waters
Fuosier.
obscure the better part of the remains.
Yes, I mean containers. So, essentially... Yeah, I said something about containers. So in this game, you have certain slots where you can put sort of thoughts in, right? There are certain things that you can essentially occupy your mind with. And one of them is about... You like to look into containers. So essentially, I think it's about my habit of trying to loot everything. I can ponder on my habit to loot everything. Sort of. I don't have slots for that right now.
What didn't fall into the ocean was used as scrap. What wasn't used as scrap was thrown into the ocean. A fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad, with Mesk volunteers, a 5-nation army, hundreds of vessels. They massed airships further down in the Bay of Revachol. The artillery was so powerful. The ships not only required gyroscopic stabilization, they were anchored into the ocean floor as well.
Okay.
Many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can just barely see the shadow on the water, far in the northeast. Cannons still ready to placate Revachol. Coalition warship Archer can shoot 50 shells a minute on 20 co-aligned archers. They will reach the city in 58 seconds.
My character has a lot of useless knowledge in his head. A looting game? No, I'm a detective, Chair. Technically, I'm a detective trying to solve a murder, but this hasn't stopped me from looting everything.
The coalition. But that was a long time ago. I think we should move on. It's chilly up here.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are.
We've evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
That smell coming from her paint bucket, it's not paint, it's heavy fuel oil. Red-dyed heavy fuel oil is only used in government vehicles, or at least that's the idea.
It's just government
What
fuel
did
oil.
you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
Should we confiscate that?
Or what? You'll push me off this ledge and pry the bucket from my dead hands?
Maybe not. Still wanna borrow her paint to paint the wall for no reason. So, wait, am I on the wrong balcony? Oh, there is loot up there. Nice. Is this everything? Like, this is the door we came from, right? We've been to this side. Yes, we go back inside and we look for another balcony. Oh wait, where? No. Oh, where am I here? 100 tiny feet scurrying beneath the crates. Okay, we found some different paints. I've got at least a lot of clothes these days, I guess. Now I just have to remember to put on the wrong ones for skill checks. Problem is obviously you don't really know before a conversation what you need. Like I do have those interfacing things back on. Yeah, let's keep them on for now. So she said balcony. Was there like another balcony? Weren't there like stairs somewhere? Maybe it's this balcony. Someone is watching, I see. Ooh, what do we have here? It's just a door. So I needed, what was it, 20 something, right? It was 28 or so? 29.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security.
Maybe because there's a cop around breaking into people's places and stealing their stuff.
Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good? Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get him. Remember, tomorrow. He's probably gone for today.
Yeah. I mean, I won't remember, but maybe my maybe my quest log will remember. I still got some more damage from being unable to cut the chain at the door earlier. But I've got 37 now. I think I need 20 or so for the night, right? So we got that covered. Is there anything here? It doesn't look like it. So, we could check the bookshop, although I don't think the lady in the bookshop will be... Good night, Fu. Thanks for stopping by. I don't think the lady in the bookshop will have any insights. But who knows?
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
I can beg everyone for money.
I am. The proudest owner of our little shop of culture. Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes,
Wonderful.
of course.
Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
And she's certainly very polite and
My
helpful.
precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
I'm here to dismantle free market and avoid child labor. It is quite the truth.
As a young girl should be. With the proper
Okay.
attitude, she'll have a bright financial future.
The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? See those shelves there? Go. Be drawn.
Okay.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
I feel compelled by this sort of back door, but maybe we'll check out something else.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books. Thrilling tales of spycraft and daring-do.
Okay. Don't think we need any of this.
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell.
I mean, does she sell something useful?
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Ooh, Paranature.
Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance.
I see. I could use some
These
wholeness.
three things are very important to the working class mind. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services. It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to and which costs more than this book, is garbage and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything.
Okay, I was hoping for interesting books, but no, those sound shitty.
Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything. Though it is important to note,
Yeah, I mean, this is a
when it's
scam.
up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place.
Interesting.
Various paranatural books still litter the shelf. Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're
Could
held
get
up
maybe a
by
map.
small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme. Ozon, Laurentide, Fas à la Mer, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands, all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white, disintegrating into mathematics. In the
Okay.
northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou in a bookstore. It's you, radiating outwards from you, the suzerain Revachol. With a radius of 80 kilometers, still, the crown jewel of this Isola would be barely visible. You can, on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star on Ozon, Fondelier, and Vilmandu on archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers, on Semenine, Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora of the Seven Seas. 850 million people live on these little dots, an oceanic world of culture and commerce torn apart by history. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Mwindi is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east azimuth. Seo is the west azimuth. Isolas, they're called. Connections to other worlds. Words past the Incelindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are.
Oh.
Distant stars. Gods. But looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away.
My encyclopedia skill has failed me.
Perhaps they are gods. Gods of distance and outer dust. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East. Hudon, it's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad, and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst. It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is, north of Jamrock, the strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbour. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, Coal City is worse. A charred limb. Rain falls on its slick black streets.
Coal City doesn't sound like a pleasant place.
Quarter in the heart of Jamrock. Is it cold in this bookstore? Or is it just you? No, this is somewhere to be. This is all you have. But it's still something. Streets and sodium lights, the sky, the world. You're still alive. It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there.
I'm gonna buy
I'm
one
sorry,
of those
officer.
maps.
The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them.
Probably.
They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. That old thing? It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From
Okay.
when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
The place does not look like a successful tourist trap, does it?
Not really.
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy the map.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
The worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinez, with directions to appropriately touristy locations. Year 48 resides on the upper right corner. Your finger moves through the various streets, across Rue de Saint-Ghislain and Rue Saint-Sipar, over Saint-Brun and Martinez North.
We don't have a functional
Finally,
map.
coming to a halt on the spot where you are currently standing. although the map gives no such indication itself.
For a more detailed view of the map, go to your journal and select the Map tab.
Ha! Map! Haha! I got a map now. Okay, now what's back? Can I go back here?
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you.
I mean, when somebody tells me you can't go there, I'm
This
intrigued.
is a traditional Seminese ward.
Although it makes a
meant
lot
to
of
provide
sense, right? You
protection
can't just
against
walk into
ill
the
luck, bad
employees
dreams,
only part.
curses, and other supernatural scourges. Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme, the Seminine Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time.
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
Is she trying to work some magic on me? Is magic
She
even a
speaks
thing in this
almost as
world?
if she's trying to put a spell on you,
Yeah.
urging you to buy more books. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
How rude would it be to just pull them open? How problematic? What if we just save and find out?
The curtains tattered with age. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
Oh, now I'm
She looks
intrigued.
away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
Must
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir. No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
like open a
Talking
curtain?
is always good. Go see what she has to say. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Okay, let's see what she has to say about her curtain. I wonder what Kim is
Hello
thinking
again,
about
esteemed
this.
officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
Yeah, something is off with your store.
It's just for decoration. Okay, fine. It's just because this place is cursed, just like everyone said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains.
How does the curse manifest
The
itself?
curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
Okay.
It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Well, I'm already bankrupt.
Didn't that curtain just move?
Everyone knows that all the previous companies in this building have sooner or later declared bankruptcy, and their malicious spirits are still here, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements.
Could it just be that they were run badly? Or that they tried to open businesses that just didn't work?
There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here. Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
But I really want to go in there now.
Liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
72%.
Time
Hello.
to fire
Oh,
up
for
the old
fuck's
lie machine.
And I am his private partner, John Shaw. Together we run the preeminent postal surveillance firm in Revachol.
Shao is what the Seolite Empire was called in the Occident, back when far less was known about the people. It was a barbarian other, ever so mystical, on whom you could project any kind
Why
of
am I so bad at
exotic
70%
fantasy. The
chance?
legend of it persists, and a lot of people still think the Shao is a thing.
Once
wait,
we've
there's
caught
more.
our client's spouse in flagrante delicto, we blackmail them and pocket the money ourselves, because that's what private investigators do. Now, I see that you are a married woman.
Some penetrating sarcasm from your colleague there.
What nonsense are you two going on about? This is not relevant at all. And besides, my husband would never do such a thing. We are proper people. How can I believe you after all that foolishness?
Our sincere apologies, ma'am. No more nonsense. We are offering to assist you with your troubles, pro bono.
Is that what you've been after this whole time? You want the key to the back door?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so I need more drama, so I take off the glasses. Is there anything else that helps with drama?
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime Rem. Okay, but please, only a few questions. It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
But I need five more XP, then I could skill up drama and then we could try it.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words.
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear, it's not enough. Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
Yeah, it's not working.
There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Look, if other businesses tried the same thing, I can see why they went bankrupt. I think if you spend all of your money on fake magic to boost your sales, you're probably not doing so
Desert
well.
pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people. Doesn't seem like the spell is working. There are no customers around except you.
Sir, I am well educated in the commercial and esoteric arts. I know what to do and what to avoid. Discount my wares? I can see, sir, that you don't value books very highly.
Yeah, but you spent money on fake charms. You could have instant discounted your books a little.
Besides, this would only tempt the phantoms of doom. They can sense the desperation, you know.
The woman before you scans the store.
The sad part is I cannot retry this check right now.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise. An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books? There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of
price
money.
is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundal somewhere.
I see. So we've established I need to increase my drama. What do we have? Wait. I think... that doesn't want to talk with us. There is the bench, but so far we haven't become Hobocomp yet, so we don't need a bench. There are some people here. Maybe they can...
Life
Maybe they can
doesn't
provide
need
some
to be
info.
a struggle. I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just finish my sandwich. Talk
No,
to
he actually
Angry
has a
Hog René
sandwich.
first.
I have a fault here.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
A man with a fork in a world of soup. That's a new one. I've never heard that expression before. I like it. Oh, I almost dropped the cam, but the cable held it in place. There is even a cat.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never.
Should I ask what the game is first?
You got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
Wouldn't I ruin the game if I do this? Acting without hesitation. I mean, it gives +2, right? +2 is obviously a pretty good bonus, especially for something that I'm not good at. But wouldn't I be like ruining the game? Wouldn't that be rude? I mean, I feel like it would be quite rude to, like, I don't know how this game works, right? But if I like throw a ball in there, it might ruin like the game.
See? Your munching and complaining have ruined my concentration.
Ah, mon Dieu. The pain in my back is unbearable. I can't even say if it's in my back or hip anymore. Feels like it's in both.
I hope you pass out from it, you goddamn jellyfish. Men like you are the reason this nation is sinking.
Trying to throw something as close to a predetermined point as possible. Measuring. This must be the age-old game of petanque.
I see.
Shush. Ignore them. They don't know what they're doing. They're old. You are letting down yourself and the team. Get in the damn game already.
What
Doesn't
team?
matter what team. Pick a team. Any team. The blue team. You're letting them down. Get in the game and throw the goddamn ball.
Yeah, so
Eyes
mean
on the
to
ball,
me.
Dinky Winky.
Wait, now it's worse because I know what it is. One of the time
Sure,
fairness.
officer. I am René Arnaud, and my specially abled partner here is Gaston Martin. How can we help you? Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely.
I see.
In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. But you must agree that nature, in her infinite wisdom, has made men more fit to perform certain, more challenging tasks. Don't you, officer?
Now, man. Like the average man would be stronger than the average woman. So if you had a physical task that only can be done by strength, the average man would be more suitable. But there would be plenty of women who could do it anyway. And for a police officer, it's not about physical strength, right? Especially in a world with guns, so no. Don't think there is any inequality at play here. For police work, they are both equal.
Really, officer. Match an average woman against an average man in a dark alley and see who comes out on top.
Yet the person with the gun.
Gender equality is a very noble, very modern idea. But in real life, primal roles prevail. But I do not wish to discuss this matter further. Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
Just my sea monster rising from the dance. Going to before the bullet holes.
Yes. It was left by heavy artillery fire. Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't so, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
I want to know more about this suicide sex cult propaganda. That seems interesting.
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first. Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta. This here is Blood Ground, where Coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
It's a rather dark
Blood
thought.
Ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the Coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still hold influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players at the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
I think the feline overlords want petting. Oh, well, the only feline overlord currently hanging out with me. Not sure where Whiskey went.
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
I mean, I'm not sure if I know enough about the history of this place to really have much of an opinion. I mean, maybe. So, I'm not sure how much of a mess this place was, but apparently... I don't... Maybe we'll go
I'm
with that.
sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains.
Wait, boiling cats for food? Can't do that. You're supposed to be food for your cats.
I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisel had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere.
I mean, that doesn't
Foreign
sound too
influence
bad.
peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
I mean, if I understand it right, this place was like sort of a monarchy, and then there was a communist uprising, and I think the communists did a lot of killing, and then a coalition of other nations came in and bombed the shit out of it, and sort of took this place over. And there is now the coalition that is kind of ruling.
It doesn't. That was 100 years ago. Ain't got nothing to do with anything. The suzerain is the king. Has everyone forgotten already? They forgotten already. It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's borders when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire. Ah, yes! King Philip III, on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
Yeah, he should take care of his people.
Elysium is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
The Carabiner doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve.
Right. Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the night. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight. Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Okay.
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
No one. The boss has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officers. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Okay.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
I mean, it only works if word doesn't spread, right? If you were to build a guard and people would assume a guard's in there, then obviously that would discourage people from robbing a place. But, you know, if there is no actual guard in there, that would leak and spread around, and then it would, like, this would be a very short-term thing where it would work.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiners' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
I mean, Everett is curious because we've heard that he sort of came into power in the Union in a shady way and now rotates sort of with his brother. But he seemed to have pushed some good policies in the past for the Union, and I have no idea what he's currently doing. We never figured out what his current strike is about because his demands are ludicrous, right? He also seems to be involved in the drug trade and mostly just seems to enjoy his life than his big chairs. Nothing wrong with tire collecting, it's my side thing too.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now?
He is not going to become an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
Yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
I mean, considering that I usually fail if it's 70%, right? Maybe I'll succeed at 28?
All you observe
No, I don't.
is a veteran refusing to let go of the past and his old uniform. This is not uncommon.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabiniers in service of Frissel I, Guillaume le Lion, and the valiant King Philip V before him.
Don't you mean Frissel the Fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown. But he was our clown, ours to ridicule and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You will get to it. Don't worry.
Maybe.
Hey, Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
How about no? My thoughts just want, like my brain just wants to give me even more thoughts that I don't need. So in here I can try the check again, right? So I need more drama to reset the check. Then I need to, well, obviously take off the glasses, that to drama. And with quick save, we skill into drama.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
92.
Slither up to her.
There you go.
You silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I have returned from the void, particularly from a long line of
You're
party
no paradetective. You look nothing like one. And you're clearly a drinker. Pardon me for being so blunt, but...
You look like one. The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook. Go ahead then. Rock her world, he thinks. I'll compose some notes.
You said to drink the spiritual cognac wine. I hide my shelf drinks, but only because the spectral realm is parapsychologically taxing.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
If the party did, no, that doesn't. That sounds better.
Your parsimonies. Oh, it means our meeting couldn't have been mere chance. The hand of fate guides us.
Clearly.
But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
Obviously, no problem.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
On my honor.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Of course, for I have sensed its presence.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimney, the passage between heaven and hell, of course.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume.
Maybe that's the woman that I'm
find
looking for.
The entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin. What you discover? Probably just some office space. Don't be scared.
Okay, now I can put my glasses back on.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking...
Yeah, pull them open.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Oh!
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Well, I have the
After
key.
exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room. You feel the tiny hairs on the back of your neck rise up, as if someone's standing right behind you.
I got this, I got this.
What is this place?
It's like a gym to me.
But no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
It's actually a good
Some
idea.
specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
good.
It's just a regular abandoned house. Now let's equip the flashlight. Shot put back. Oh, that's worth a lot.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
Yeah, I'm not a weightlifter.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then. It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
We're not going to lift then. Okay. So far it doesn't appear like anybody is actually living here. But I'm finding money. Money is good. Money is good.
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
Wait. How do you go from making rotor blades to making skis? What a strange leap of imagination.
Reality is ruthless.
Production schedule filament memory. Oh. Yeah, rich. You know, if I had broken in there like earlier, maybe I wouldn't have needed like Kim's money to make this all work.
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside. We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard.
So it still has
The
electricity?
machine's central compartment is wide open. It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment. Like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts
I hope I'm not
producing a
destroying
soft hum.
my
The sound of
50
static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver.
my 50 money worth kind of thing.
Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up
Or
the
maybe it could
abandoned
tell me
core
why this place
until
was
a
shut
voice
down.
speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? The filament you have inserted into the reader. That was a question. Have you inserted it into the core? Good.
Yes.
Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
This is the police.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder for Fortress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password? Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Do they?
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow.
Okay, so we need a pass. It should be around here somewhere, right?
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic. History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
What am I
Radio
looking at?
frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7. Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants.
It's a
Someone
Game
very
Master.
important.
Wait, are we watching just like some
The leader
people
of
playing a
massive
game?
on-air game built by these people.
Yeah, exactly.
A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the station.
found an interesting game, I guess.
6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Oh, they were planning a game. Ah, is this like a failing game studio that has overreached and then went
The
bankrupt?
schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Wouldn't have a password here.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural.
Yeah, somebody has definitely drawn like an elfin warrior here or something.
Some of the writing has faded with age. but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of Welkins. You make out autumnal candle Welkins casting wax-based magic.
I see.
Translucent Welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether Welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind?
No, why tortured and feverish? Like, if they created a game, obviously they needed to, well, they wanted to create some fantasy races.
You should adopt one of those Welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a Welkin. One of the Welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. It's Vara Hamira, a high Welkin, his face white and scarred.
Is that like the
cracked
elf
marble.
there?
This is clearly a Welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-Welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures.
Look, I mean, if they made a game, then they made probably a story or whatever out there, right? Let's...
Just look at those
Profound.
details. So much effort.
Yeah.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Okay.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed. As
What
time
happened?
goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
Well, I mean, you already know that the businesses here went
A
bankrupt.
note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe."
Wait, one of those is the
The
password.
full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise."
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
The failed business.
Yes, that is the question. It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
They were making an MMO.
Utter madness. he thinks, as a compliment.
You've never done this
Not
before.
to my knowledge. They make automated games in Grad, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology. Through call-in stations, none of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts. Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world
Indeed
looks
we
like a
do.
modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard. Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
I mean, they probably just didn't have the funding for this, right? I had good ideas, but neither the technology nor the money to pull it off.
Yes, especially in here. Okay, let's keep moving.
Indeed. But I think this is a good time to call it a night.